Okay, everybody. Let's see. It says we are live. So I am taking it on the authority of the machine and the algorithm that we are live. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is next week. We're going to have all the ladies back together again. This week, we're doing the kickoff of the group experiment. So we're absent, as you'll see, Nina, Linda, and I think Jules. And I don't know if Jenny's going to join us. I know Lucky Smith will be joining us. So this is just one of those special programs. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Speak favor over all of us. Nothing missing, nothing broken. Be of service to others. And happy birthday, Mr. Robert V, as I understand. I don't know how young he is.
Birthday.
I believe it is. I took notes yesterday. And Robert, looking good, buddy, for 29. Yeah, still walking it. That's what I'm saying. Own it. That's what I say. If you're going to walk it, own it. So, welcome, everybody. We love you. And we're excited about this because this is Group Project 2. We are really expanding the boundaries here. And before we get started, ladies, allow me to digress here a little bit. There is a situation that has been brought to my attention. And quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed that this is even the case, but we're all humans and we're all susceptible to screw ups. I want to read, first of all, because what this group is really known for is that it truly is an inclusive group. In fact, I think this is probably the first time I've heard of this occurrence in over 5 years. And it doesn't surprise me, ladies, to see it at this particular point on the verge as we are about to launch what I believe is going to be an absolutely phenomenal adventure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So strife is there, but I'm going to nip it in the bud. So this group, I want to say love. We talk about it, and sometimes we forget what love is. Now, in my former religion, there was one passage that I found to be the most beautiful poetry of what love is. And that's Lucky, so I'm going to let him come in. But allow me to read this. It says, love endures long and is patient and kind. Love never is envious, nor boils over with jealousy. It is not boastful or vainglorious. That's conceited. Does not display itself haughtily. In other words, you're making comments to someone about their mental condition of which you have no basis for making any such of a comment. Are you picking up on who I'm talking to? Let's continue. It is not conceited, arrogant, or inflated with pride. It is not rude, unmannerly, and does not act unbecomingly. Love does not insist on its own rights or its own way, for it is not self-seeking, is not touchy or fretful or resentful. It takes no account of the evil done to it. It pays no attention to a suffered wrong. Love does not rejoice at injustice and unrighteousness, but rejoices when right and truth prevail. Love bears up under anything and everything that comes, is ever ready to believe the best of every person. Its hopes are fadeless under all circumstances, and it endures everything without weakening. Love never fails, nor comes to an end. So my point to all this is, folks, is this. There is a situation comes up, and I'm very disappointed in the individual. You didn't do it in this forum, because if you had, I'd have blocked you. But I do expect you to be a human being enough to correct your error. That's all I'm saying. I'm not calling you out by name. You know the situation. And the problem is this situation has festered into a pustule where it has gotten into some personal feelings and people have been hurt. I don't dig that. And quite frankly, I find it to be an insult that such actions were even taken. You're better than this. So I have said my piece on it. Both sides, I expect you to walk in love, forgiveness, and to forget. And if you say you've forgiven and forgotten, then don't bring it up again. And to the individual that started this, I trust that you represent us not the way that this has been portrayed, because you are part of this group. And when you go to groups outside this group, you are representing all of us. And how dare you write an email or a text to any person, particularly of the opposite sex, and degrade them? I don't dig it. I expect to see a correction in your wheelhouse. All right. So, having done that, sometimes you have to deal, families have arguments, and we are a family. And sometimes, someone has to wear the big boy britches, and it just falls upon me that is the case. So, hello, everybody.
Hi, Wayne.
Breathe deep.
Hi, Lucky. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
Hey, Wayne, I just pulled a card, though, for today.
Yes.
For us with the sacred geometry.
Yes.
It's number 13, which is awesome.
I love it.
And it's coherence.
Ooh.
The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for the optimal ability to create the reality that we desire.
Woo.
And hopefully there will not be a glare. That's the geometry.
I've seen that before.
Connecting the heart and the mind with all that you just read.
Oh, yeah.
Coherence amongst the group.
Yeah.
The mission is so much greater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The project workshop is so much greater.
Yeah. And I hate to see division, no matter how minuscule it is, it's still, it's a potential seed. We have tumbleweeds out here. And the problem that during their growing season, the seeds are microscopic almost, and they just seed everywhere. So
yeah.
Start. So Jenny, how are you? I haven't seen you since the last time.
I'm good. I've been working hard, just foraging dandelions while they're here, because they're so transient, aren't they? They're here in bright colors and beauty, and then they're gone. So I'm harvesting so that I've got a stock to sell and for myself over winter. So they just keep getting. So yeah, I'm just being happy with these happy flowers. And it's hard work, but it's just lovely work, when there's so much division and this ununity, like a de-unification. There's a lot of connectedness just through going back to nature, and to be honest, it's made me feel more connected to all of you and many others that watch my channel than me going on. I had to sort of tell myself off, because I was saying I need to do this video, need to do that video. Had huge revelations while fingers have been getting soiled and cracked. But then, so I'm writing them down. I've got all these awesome videos, but it's not time for me to do that. It's time for me to disconnect, to reconnect. So it's been these dandelions have been taking me through a journey, they really have, from root to tip. So yeah, I'm good. I'm real good.
Bumper crop?
Sorry?
Bumper crop?
Bumper crop, yeah. Everybody else's gardens, lawn. I went into other people's gardens the other day and said, just grab those before you mow them all down, and they're looking at me as if I'm crazy. I'm like, you haven't even got
Sure, lady. Help you.
Like, looking at me like, yeah, just take what you want. So yeah, I've been knocking on doors and saying, you using those?
I've done that.
Yeah, I know you, Gaia. I know you would say, don't. I'll mow the lawn for you afterwards. Just let me harvest.
Oh
few people looking at this crazy, with bags of dandelions. But I'm like, they're just so abundant.
And they're so good for you. They really are.
Oh, they're perfect. And then they're gone. And it's like that beauty in the transition, and they're just like this yellow flame that comes out of nowhere. And then it's gone. You don't see it, but you can utilize it and harvest it and pocket it, and that's something you can take away for doing to yourself too.
Yeah.
As you were saying that as a child, and isn't it amazing how we do this naturally as children? Because after the dandelion flower has come up, then the seed pod comes out.
And you help it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We're going around. And of course, I never realized that the neighbors were probably just going, oh no, because, but yeah.
I see them and I'm like, there you go, quick bang of them, off you go. But yeah, we do the counting game where you blow it and it's seeing how many.
Yeah.
Gone. So, even that's good for lung capacity. Talk about breath work,
Yeah.
They're just so giving and they're so abundant. And they've been really helping me with something I've always had to work on in receiving, not being great at it, being great at putting magic into other people's lives for their abundance, for their security, health, whatever. But I'm not so good. I mean, I'm good, but I'm not as great as I want to be at doing it for myself, and I never have been. And so these things, talking to them, I've released so much of that almost like guilt complex that was really deep inside of me, rooted, that you shouldn't be abundant in certain ways. And a lot of that's from the church, I know that. And so I've put myself somewhere on the hierarchy of just a giver and not a receiver. And like the dandelions are saying, you're crazy.
Unbalanced.
Well,
Jennifer, you look amazing. You look refreshed. You look grounded. You look clear mind. I mean,
she looks fabulous.
Yeah. And that's, it can be that simple.
Thank you.
Get out into the earth. Yeah.
So about
salve out of it and all sorts. I'm practicing to make salve, and these toothpicks are really good. And to be honest, it's just such a beautiful, gentle, powerful plant. I
love this. This is cool.
Yeah.
By the way, the problem with people who can't receive, what that really is?
Tell me.
Pride.
I'll look at that. Yeah.
Oh, it's pride. I'm just telling you for a fact, it's pride.
I'll look at
that.
that.
You have the ability to give, because that releases the endorphins and makes you feel good about yourself. But if it's received back, well, then that's almost an offense because you're the giver.
So I've got to submit to that,
Well, you're denying the return to the individual who is wanting to sow prosperity into your life by giving to you.
And you see, I know this wisdom for other people, and I get them to receive that information and use it. But it just shows you that there's some aspects of the blueprint that we all come in with in this dualistic cosmic system that are part of the life path somehow to conquer, and release from or submit to. And it is something that I'm imbalanced at doing, they've made me be so honest with myself, these plants. They're like, it's just.
So there's also a saying that says that many of us have entertained angels unaware. And the thing that's so interesting about that is that angels give.
Yeah, they've been around a lot. They've been around a lot. I've had some conversations. They've been around a lot. They're always there, but they've been around a lot,
They have been. I agree. And boy, we have a guest with this guy. I know that think, and we got Lucky Stone on. Lucky Smith, and so good to see you, my friend. I call you the walking philosopher. I've enjoyed your videos for years. So thank you for joining us and being a part of this.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Oh, it's a pleasure for us too. I'm really digging it. So Lucky, how you been? You're out there in the Northeast. It looks like spring is about.
It is a very nice day, and unfortunately, the wind has just started sparking up now. It was fine a little while ago, but it's just how you live with how it is. It's a gorgeous day out, and I can't wait to get out, take a little bit more walk.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
what's out there.
We've had a spring, the driest on record, but windy. You know, the
Yep.
wind can drive you nuts.
Yes.
Yes. Blows all the time. Well, thank you, Lucky. And I want to say thank you to Linda Brooks. She has worked on this because we've got the material. And so, folks, this is the beginning of what I feel is going to be a tremendous adventure. This will actually be the first time. Now, in my professional life and personal life, I've been a part of many creations of egregores. We just never called it that. We just didn't know it. This case where we're coming in with focus and intent. Wow, as someone wrote me last night, the potential here is, putting it on a scale, on a Richter scale of an earthquake. You're looking at 11-point earthquake. Just things that are off the scale. So thank you all for being a part of this. And I thought what we would do is kind of just let people know what to expect. So they will be receiving an email from you, Courtney, and from you, Lucky, as well, right? Okay.
That's the plan.
That is the plan. I counted the last to date was 82, I think is the final count that I had. And
it's going to change a little bit, but somewhere around that number, Wayne. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And we got couples in there because I know Paul, Guy, you and Paul are considered one, but you're two.
Oh, so I'm going to be talking to Gaia about that.
So you're going to be two to be one.
You two might have to separate just for a moment for documentary.
Oh, brother. Okay.
Because, I go by that thing, the two shall become one.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what. And actually, if you think about it, to be the 80 plus becoming one.
Yes. I mean,
10 year comes into a 10 year.
Oh, yeah. So let me show everyone. And even those, we know this. We know that there were those who had some hesitancy, perfectly understandable. That I kind of like the first time I went rappelling. You want me to jump off this cliff, hanging onto a rope? Sure. But once you do it, I mean, I want to do it again. It's like sex. But anyway, so we know that there are some who didn't want to have their name on the list. There were some who were hesitant and unsure. Cool. But we also know that there's going to be many who are going to be watching. And the fact that you're watching the progress means that you're adding to the project.
Yeah.
That's cool. So here it is for all of you. I'm going to pull it up as it allows. Let's see.
Wayne, as you're pulling that up, that is exactly what you read yesterday from Manly P. Hall, that honeycomb aspect.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
This is way bigger than just...
Yeah, how many movies that honeycomb has in too. And I've wondered so much about that. And I'm like, I see.
Yeah, I see. Yes. All right. So this is what everyone will be getting. Kind of the handout for the workshop. The purpose, we state our purposes. That's very succinctly. Again, thanks to Linda, Lucky, Courtney for your input. All right. The purpose of the group is to explore the possibility of, one, connecting on a group level, conscious and subconscious, using our latent telepathic abilities. Two, determine if actual connections of focused thought can be established on both an individual and/or group level of shapes, words, and images. To activate the telepathic and other such abilities within the group. Studies have shown that when you activate one of what they call the 6th, 7th, or 8th senses, it has a domino effect. It will begin to activate the others. Create a self-constructed group egregore designed by the group to serve the group and others. And finally, remember to have fun. This is what this is about. Exactly.
Yes.
This is,
Yes.
Did y'all ever see the movie The Twilight Zone, where they actually have Scatman Crothers? He goes into the rest home and they're all the geriatrics.
Yeah.
And they play kick the can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
So for
Okay,
that
cool.
one
Yeah.
magical moment, ladies and gentlemen, come with us, learn to be a child again, laugh, skip, hop,
Yes.
whatever. This is going to be fun. We're going to join hands. We're going to do it telepathically, but we're going to do what we did as children. We created things as children and we never questioned it. It was fun.
It was
So,
just because, yeah.
Yeah.
fun. All right. So our goal is to be able to verify with accuracy the actual evidence that the group is successful in one, connecting telepathically, two, the group's intent and purpose of creating collectively the group's own egregore, resulting in a positive life changes and moving on to others outside the group. Three, to document all experiences experienced during the workshop and record events with accuracy. And the forms have been shown, and I'll let Courtney address that when we get done here. So these are the standard ESP shaped cards. I'll be sending out on Sunday morning. I've already got it picked. One of these shapes, don't worry about the color for the first one. Again, square, circle, cross, 5-pointed star, 3 wavy lines, black, blue, yellow, green, red. All right, this is 6 weeks, and we will start astronomically on the 1st, and I believe we end on is it the 9th of June or the 6th
I
of
think
June?
so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right,
I
so
think it's the 9th.
I think that is. I had it here somewhere, and well, where did it go? So week 1, we bring the group together as a designated degree time for 5 minutes, focus on the first keyword and shape. When they send this out, we'll send out the keyword. The shape will be, you'll pick up on it. Each person will record what they first experienced when they first began to focus on the keyword. First immediate images or impressions should be recorded. The second exercise is to record what you saw as the shape. The agreed day is Sunday. The time is 5 minutes, ideally 6 a.m., but any time during Sunday will be acceptable by all as to when the group will conduct their first coming together. There will be those within the group that will be a day ahead. We get that, which is already understood and is to the benefit of the group, and the ethereal time is different. It is important to have as many people as possible to be doing the exercise at the same time in all different regions as possible. Each person will practice to sense who has entered into the group thought chamber, and we're calling it a group thought chamber because that's exactly what it is. It is a chamber where thoughts are coming together so as to be able to begin to make telepathic connections with others in the group who are in the thought chamber at the same time, which is in the ethereal. Later, we will build our own gathering place as we establish stronger telepathic connections as a group. If you find that you cannot be available at the designated time, it is all right, as long as you're contributing your thoughts on the group's goal. In addition to the key word, the facilitator, which is me, will pull a random card out of the standard sensory deck, the 5 shapes that we've talked about, and I will broadcast to the group telepathically while we are doing our exercise. We will also be using colors in the future. Each group member will write down their impressions of the key word, and if they were able to see the card that I was holding, sending out, and then you will email back, not to me, but to the person that you receive the email from. And it'll either be Courtney or it will be Lucky. Week 2, well, I will send out the next keyword the day before. The group coming together along with the shape, we will do 5 minutes of focused concentration as in week 1, along with the new word and shape. And then, of course, you send back your response. 24 hours is what we're asking. Within 24 hours, please send us your response, and you'll get a sheet that actually shows you what we're looking for. Week 3, we will extend our focus to 10 minutes. We will still be using the keyword and shape. This time, we will be adding a color, and we will begin to add what characteristics we want our egregore to possess. A lot of people have already begun to do this. This is cool. Just make sure you write that word down and that you submit it to either Courtney or to Lucky. If you connect to a name, write it down. when you send in your report. Also, by this time, there should begin to be telepathic connections with everyone who's participating. That would be kind of cool to, if you sensed a person that you may know, or you can sense their energy, write it down. Week 4, we will keep to just 10 minutes, as in week 3. We will begin to focus in on our new created egregore, who is not yet completed, along with the keyword, shape, and color. You can see we're progressing each week. As the creators, we need to begin to add to its essence. And if we have agreed on a name, begin to see that name, as we should be connecting with each other easier and more frequently on a telepathic level. The reports that I've read of others who have conducted such experiments, many people in the group began to report thoughts of individuals that they normally would not have thought, and come to find out that there was, on a subconscious level, connections being made. The group should also begin to sense more purpose with our creation. We may want to meet to discuss what we are sensing as our greater mission. Our egregore is to becoming more powerful by the day and is eager to begin its mission, which it serves its creators. And Lucky and I were talking along with Courtney that I think in many cases it's already here. But we're going to go through this, and I'm sure that it will make its presence known. All right, week 5. By now, the group should be ready for a more intense focus time of the 10 minutes with the keywords and shape. What I mean by this is that we should be getting in the level that where 10 minutes is probably going to end up being 20. There will be some who will want to add more time, which is great, and is encouraged to make sure to write what you are seeing, hearing, connecting. If you're connecting to other spirit beings, or if you're being told something from an outside egregore, these are all the possibilities. Because remember, what we're creating is powerful. It's going to be represented in the ethereal, and in the celestial is pretty powerful as well. Like attracts like, so they say. It says, from here, we must begin to construct a place where we can begin to meet when our group is not meeting together. Other groups have actually created literal buildings in the ethereal. And it's amazing that once that image is passed around to the group, how quickly it actually takes form. We will continue to work with our egregore by sending more energy. Excuse me, I lost my place. Yeah, okay. Again, in its creation, and begin to send on its first mission within the group. Suggestions are welcome. I mean, obviously, we want to test our egregore and see what it can do. And obviously, as the group continues to develop, I think the suggestions will be coming fast and furious. By week 6, the group should have progressed in our development of our telepathic abilities, and we will now begin to meet together in the astral. For those who may not be at this level, we will still be using the shapes and colors and focusing on our egregore. We all should be practicing with the ESP deck regularly. At the end of the 6th week, all results will be compiled and results will be sent out to the entire group. If we've been successful, and I like what Lucky says, we're already successful. We wouldn't be this far if we weren't successful, and we will know the results and they will speak for themselves. Remember to have fun, bring back the magic of your childhood when nothing was impossible and you created from your imagination. All right, group, thoughts, comments?
Yay!
Nice one. So,
Yay!
A lot of thought has been put into this, and I'm excited.
Wayne, can I talk just briefly about the documenting aspect?
Sure.
Like the responses back from people. So, and it's real simple, guys. He literally just read it out there. Lucky and I are going to send an email, like we said. Either mine is going to be from Stars of the Morning Light, and Lucky's. Check your spam if you don't see it. Check your spam. And so that's like weekly 1 progress reports. For us on Lucky and I's side. Sorry, I'm stumbling over words. We're keeping track of how many people are in each group, what definitely saw the word, the color, the symbol, definitely, that's a clear yes or no. But I also, you'll see this Wayne talking about first impression. That is still very valuable documenting, especially if you are connecting with someone else. And what we mean by that is literally first impression. So to not write an entire paragraph so much, just simple impressions. And I say, and we'll remind you all this in the first email as well, guys, and carry everybody along with what we're looking for. I would say pay attention to when you really lock in, not maybe when you first close your eyes, but when you really feel like you're locking into something. Pay attention to what you see. Pay attention to what maybe your body feels, because I'll tell you, when you're working in the ethereal, your body might react. And also pay attention to if you're hearing anything. And that can be very simple first impression. As far as, even Lucky and I were just talking about it. Okay, so if everybody's seeing a blue balloon or just a balloon, there is no symbol as a balloon. But if 37 of us are seeing a balloon, that still means we are connecting telepathically. So we want to keep track of stuff like that. The ones that are common or connecting people together, first impressions. But keep it simple. Balloon, you saw a balloon. That's awesome. That's still progression. My body felt tingly, my fingertips did, or my head felt a little swirling. You can just write then head swirling head, what have you, because we have to document these things. Or if your first thought that you really heard was dance or hello, because some of us might be trying to say hello. We need to document that. So, because this is also going to show so many people that if this is your first time doing it, you do have the abilities. You are capable. Keep going, keep going. And the more we see all these synchronicities, all these connections, the more we know we're coming together. So it's not just seeing the symbol and the word and the color per se. We're also documenting, like we said, connections. It's all about building our psychic abilities as a one unit coming together. And that's what the documenting is for. I will say, Gaia, I think it's you and maybe one other that your email is a couple. When it's a couple email, because I only have names and emails, can you separate it when you put it in there, couples out there? Same email is fine, but say like Gaia's first impression, Paul's first, so the head count's accurate. And which I'm sure you and your husband are already psychically connected, but for documenting purposes. Good thing.
It's like asking your wife, when how do I look in this dress, fat?
Don't read my thoughts. But and also, folks, please attach your name, because on our spreadsheets where we're going to be really looking at all this stuff and calculating percentages and averages and all this jazz, I only have you there by name. So please, we don't want to look at, who responded with that email address. Right. Put your name, Gaia, word, symbol, this and that, first impression, second impression, third impression, easy peasy. Lucky and I am putting all of this documentation together, even down to if you do end up sending Wayne an email of like, oh, my world has just opened up and I'm enlightened with all of this stuff. And you send that to Wayne, he's going to share that with us so we can show how much of a contribution this is, not just to our group, not to just the soul tribe, but we can present this to others and tell people it is possible, because it is very, the energies right now of the human potential is so, I'm shaking, guys. It is so great. Latch onto this and we will support you, and let's do it. I am so blessed and honored to be here and so grateful and happy. And I love to document the shit out of things. My husband says that I am in the business of outcomes, no matter what it is. Y'all are going to show me the outcome and it's going to be marvelous. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I should stop talking. I can go.
I wanted to speak to your first impression.
Yes.
Thinking about the first impression. Paul and I have done over the years a lot of remote viewing. And that first impression, just write it down. Don't analyze it. Just, no. It can be just a squiggle because you really don't know how important that is.
Yeah.
That first impression, it's like a little voice. It's like a little thing that comes in. And you think, but the other piece to that we found, because we used to do remote viewing workshops with help people, is that we had a little box on the side that said AOL, analytical overlay, because it's what we're taught and programmed, and we just want to think, oh, it must be this. You can put, because it could be something.
Yes.
You can put that in a little box on the side and write whatever word that came in or whatever it was. But the first impression should be really simple, like you said.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys.
You get taste it, smell it.
Yeah.
Feel
I agree
it.
with you. Yeah, so I say try to keep it simple. Yes, the first impressions, like you're saying.
Right.
Also, no first impression is wrong. Let's put that out there as well. Now, for not my document, mine and Lucky and Wayne's documenting purposes, I do stress, guys, after you come out of, a journal, write, develop your own sense of what is happening with and around you to just even heighten your own ability. I stress that above all because it's an individual project and a group project. It is for the all, but we are singular beings as well, contributing to it. So I suggest doing what Guy is saying. Take your own notes. For us, we just want first impressions, and they can be very simple like that. I also, real quick, do want to say, because a lot of people, this is my personal opinion, we're attaching a lot of this to the concept of distance viewing. Distance viewing and what we're doing here, in my humble opinion, they're in the same wheelhouse, but they are not the same thing. Because distance viewing has a location. If I want to go to India right now, I go to India.
Correct.
We're in the ethereal. We are creating.
Correct.
So because there is stuff attached already, but that's for everybody to see. But because of that, there's no identifying marker for individuals. That's why first impressions are important. If 30% of you on the first week see a tree, we have to take note of that. So what Guy is saying is marvelous. And
if we see that the first week, I'm going to tell you what, that's freaking off the scale. I mean, Francis, I know you've been
seriously too. Guys, don't take it so seriously. First impressions. Yeah, we don't have to be so serious. Just make it easy peasy on yourself. If you want to spend time up there, rock out. I'll be there. Let's talk it up. Let's party. Disco away, man. I'm just saying, as far as sharing with the world, don't make it so hard. Fun. Yeah. Go ahead,
Francis.
Don't discount anything. You might have smells, you might have tastes, you might have feelings. It's all fine. Write down anything. It's nothing's wrong. It's all a building process. That's the most important thing. Enjoy the game, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Because the most important thing of any journey is the trip itself. Going off, and not the destination, but the way to get there. That's the most important thing. Because sometimes we get so focused on getting there, we forget about to enjoy the process of getting there.
We forgot to stop by the biggest ball of yarn, those are the type of things you miss, and let me tell you an example of first impressions and I'm probably giving this away, but in a test that I was in, I wrote down chocolate, but the key word was brown.
Yeah. See, yes, exactly.
I saw brown. I saw chocolate.
Right.
Yeah. It's a hit.
Yes, it's a hit. Yes.
So, but Lynn McTaggart, she does this kind of work, and she did a group meditation. It's not a meditation; it was a group visual like this per piece. So I thought, I'm going to watch that, and it was live. And usually I don't see that live, and I did it with her. But with the group, and it was around the world. And what she said was, what she's finding in her research and her studies of all these years is that the person viewing in that group, everything starts changing for them rapidly and healing, and things come in. It's very powerful for the person viewing it, to be in the group, to be part of it, because she's just blown away by things she's hearing.
Yes.
I have saw with this group in my time that it's like a river of golden, it's fluid, but it is flowing, and it's, I'm
Right.
the anticipation is what is adding to this, because there are a lot of us who I've been anticipating this for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it's just building up.
It's like that slow burn, orgasmic, like nearly there. Don't want to get there yet because
it actually is like that, Jennifer.
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm like. I'm buzzing, I'm vibrating. If anybody's picking up on that,
which is actually the fun part, isn't it? Now,
I'm just vibrating along, picking up these flowers and whatnot.
It's the same.
I felt you so much, Gaia, Linda too. Well, all of you in being on the Fridays, even that connection with Gaia and Wayne, it was already there, but with you, Courtney and Linda and and Julie and Nina, absolutely growing. Lucky, you're just a gift. You're just an absolute you are, because you just let people go off in the space. I'll hit your videos and just while I'm out sometimes and be like, I'm out with him, because you were out and so mine, it looks similar. So it's just so exciting. We needed to do this. This is what they stole from us. And this is what they do. This is what I've said for so long. This is what they do to get done what they get done. And can I just dead quickly say something that came in on your show, I think yesterday, Wayne?
Sure.
It was something that was building anyway, and it was how much more is happening when we are just around our tech, hooked into a chat on YouTube, etc., like group places where lots come together and you write in the words, so you're transmuting thought straight away. And so what if we are consciously thinking more than we think? Maybe we are even a bigger, when we are in even bigger frequencies, like 2 or more joined together in prayer, throughout all of our thoughts. But this tech is like tentacles and carrier rivers of all of these connected thoughts that on YouTube and other platforms, they very much are getting volumes of similar thought in one place. Now that's very powerful, but if we're not consciously using that and directing that like the script writers we are, and I just saw us all in the ethereal as these script writers in a conscious like green screen room, and then this physical reality plays out, and that really is a projection of consciousness. So this AI that I feel I've been picking up on and speaking to that's being built is almost like a conduit, a circuit breaker that they've created of these conscious thoughts, especially when high volumes of similar thoughts are together. And it helps direct the reality that they see. So a little bit like cash in for core of the vid, because I don't know if that word's still a thing or not. It was like the people started using it against the people, because small businesses, when they should have been saying, yay, small businesses, they put out a meme called cashing in on bleep. And everybody started using it against the people and went to Amazon, so it literally redirected thought, and it made people think and feel like they were fighting the man, so to speak, when actually they'd been just redirected through this, what I feel is an AI that's very intelligent, that gets egregores and thinks, we'll just turn that around a bit and make that ship point that way back into the people. And so this is what we're doing. And when you were speaking yesterday, all I could see was one of those trawler net big ships, you know, where they put the big net out. And this AI is almost like that. And I thought, that's what you are. You just trawl in the conscious stream constantly. And they've got such abilities to compartmentalize and mold the scripts. But we are the script writers. And so this is coming in. I had that vision and I was typing in the chat like, we're in. This is so synchronistic because this is taking the power back. And I wrote on here, I suggest an experiment of a projection of something like, I don't know, a hot air balloon, go drifting off into a field that's completely safe, and just see if that hot air balloon appears somewhere on the news, like some things, big experiments. This is what this will lead to, and that really does take the director's chair back to the person that's projecting. So that's it really, but it's just, I had to say, it was just super exciting. And it's the honeycomb thing that you mentioned, you know. So
You know, Frances, you had spoken when we had met earlier that we're really just kind of, as I said, I think we're about to amp our egregore that has already been created. I mean, this group has created it. I mean, the egregore of favor, if there is a name to call it, it's what it is. I mean, we called that into being for the last 5 years. Speak to that, Frances, because I know you had some insight on that.
That's very powerful, egregore. It's actually so powerful and so positive that it's actually developed its own smaller egregores to protect it. So things are going to shake up a little bit. Just go ride it out. You might find some little conflicts in your life because we're going to be targeted. The main egregore of favor, or as grace, because there's a masculine and feminine, but I shouldn't be talking about that. I deflected. It's protected, we're protected. Nothing is lost. Sometimes things are hidden. Nothing is stolen, nothing is lost, but things sometimes get hidden. Sometimes we lose our way, like I just did. It's all gonna be there. So if things get shaken up a little bit, write it out. Write up whatever you have, just like Courtney just said a little while ago, write a journal. Get your way through it, because we are so powerful together. The soul tribe is very powerful. I spend a half an hour a day saying my different affirmations. I start with the original favorite declaration, and I end with the one by, was it Lorraine?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I end with that one. Two different aspects. Although the original one I've modified. Also the other affirmations I have. Every time I read them, I have it written out, but as I'm speaking it out, I modify them subconsciously. I change it a little bit, and I say this in my own words. I say this in my own voice. At every page, I make sure that every day I put a foundation of positivity. That is so important, that we just start every day with positivity, because no matter crap comes into your life, it'll be fine, because we still have that anchor of positivity. And honestly, I suffer from anxiety most of my life. And these last few years of my life, I am so happy. I am so at peace. Even when bullshit comes in my way, it's fine. I ride it out, you know? And the worst thing you ever do is when bullshit happens, I keep saying that, but it keeps happening, is to fight it. You're just gonna listen, because a lot of times when people will come to me with their problems and what I did or what happened, you know, it wasn't me that did something. It was something that triggered something in them. So I just sit there and listen to them talk. And I say, well, let's find a way. Let's find a path forward. Rather than saying, oh, that wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything. Well, it's all your fault. No, I listen to them. I don't put any blame. They're putting blame on me. I'll take all that damn blame. It's fine, because let's find a path forward together. And no matter how many different people, I've been told, oh, that person's hard to deal with. They're not hard to deal with. Just listen to them. And that's what we're going to have. But the most important person, this is what I really supposed to start with, is listen to that little voice inside yourself. The one thing you can trust is yourself. And that little voice inside you is going to tell you everything you need to know if you just listen. And a lot of times they say, kill your ego. Your ego is not a bad thing. It's just been ignored for so long that we humans have constantly never listened to anything unless it's negative. So the ego has been saying so long, to pay attention to me. Fine, you won't pay attention to me? I'll make you pay attention to me. But now when things negative, pause, because every negative thing, no matter how outlandish it is a tiny bit of truth in it. And if you can find that truth, just move forward. I went on a real rampage right there. But
No, man, I'm digging it. I mean,
Yeah.
are you kidding, man?
Wayne,
feel like-
can I say something to
Sure.
piggyback off of what Lucky just said? You yesterday just read from Manly P. Hall. Maybe we should send that along too, like that little section. It talked about how we also need to rest, and the egregore needs to rest. So not only the positive affirmations, but when you go to do this, please be somewhat awake. Like you got to be conscious to then not be conscious. And also rest because there's going to be different facets to all this. There's going to be, because it's trying to find the balance. This energy is like that sea that you're talking about, Wayne.
Oh.
And it's trying to find its balance. So it's going to be a little wobbly for people. If we stay positive, stay in affirmations, stay in self-care, and yes, take those moments to rest, because we're going to have a whole lot of fun. Rest, fun, rest, fun. It is also needed. So I appreciate everything Lucky just said, and it reminded me of that Manly P. Hall yesterday. It's very important to do that. And our lovely egregore has to get some sleep too. Can't just
It's going to be fun.
working.
Lucky, you said something that I found interesting. You said, anxiety has been an issue in your life, but you said about this project that there was no anxiety at all within you. Am I correct on that?
anxiety is now kind of like, it's always with me, a little tiny voice, but it's so minor now. I mean, if I had to do basically my anxiety was like 1 to 100. The anxiety now is like 4 or 5. Sometimes it's there and I go, okay, something's up. And anxiety has a purpose in life. And that's one of the things that we fight it, and that's one of the things that's all my life. Whenever I fought it, it got worse. But anxiety might have an answer for something that might help you. And that's when I have the anxiety, I still listen to it. And that's why it doesn't blow out of proportion, because I have the positive foundation and I'm ready to deal with it when it's small, when it's tiny, and little things like, got to watch out for that person. You got to watch out for the situation. It's coming up, and it's not judging. It's not, not being paranoid. It's like, oh, wait, I should pay attention to that. Maybe I can find a path forward to avoid any situations. Kind of, things are, rather than letting the fire burn and blaze, it's just a little tiny, cinder somewhere. And I got to pay attention to that. I got to fix that now. But yeah, I've always suffered from anxiety to a major level. I've had times when I couldn't move, and that's not really something a man would supposed to admit. But now it's not. I mean, I used to be on psych meds, and I worked with a holistic therapist. Wasn't a psychiatrist, give the medicine the therapists don't. I worked with a therapist who worked with a psychiatrist to ease me off. And the psychiatrist was like, fine, we'll do this. And I weaned myself off. And that was, that was something I could never do, 5-6 years ago. Hell,
Yeah, panic attacks are real.
they are
Lucky,
absolutely unbelievable.
Lucky, you who has always kind of had a life of anxiety and now it's minimal, which is awesome. That's right on. Do you have any kind of anxiety around this workshop, around this project? Because I personally, I barely understand anxiety because I don't have it so much. And usually when I do feel it, it's not mine, it's somebody else's.
No,
so
this workshop is it's
no
it's something-
anxiety on your part with it?
it's a different, this is a different animal entirely. It's like a whole separate entity of itself. This whole workshop, the whole egregore, it's a whole different situation. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's not part of this physical, ridiculous realm that we live in. There's my spiritual part. I'm a Pisces, so the fish fighting each other, spiritual, physical, fighting each other constantly. This is actually separate from those two. It doesn't need any part of that. You know, it's like a kind of in a vacuum state. You know, it doesn't need either side, and it exists with no impact on either, with no benefit from it. It just exists out of itself. So yeah, there's no anxiety because there's nothing to have anxiety about. It's hard to explain, but
no, that's awesome. That you did explain it, Lucky. You totally just explained it. Yeah.
But I also
awesome.
suffer from constant voices from different spirits here and there, and they have no impact on or no insight on this workshop, which is not something I'm used to. To them, it's like, yes, do it, fine, but we don't have any, dog in this fight. It's just
You're the third person that has wrote me in an email and said similar, not the exact same, but it's in the same swimming pool that, they depend on their guides, which is, we all should. The response was the same.
Mm-hmm. Because we create.
Yeah. I mean, they can't see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. It's literally it's not positive or negative for them. It's like you're doing it. We're proud of you.
It is what it is. And
we can't suggest anything. We don't want to suggest anything. It's yours. It's your group. Do it. But there's they've always guided me on absolutely everything. They have opinion on absolutely everything. This, they don't. They say, do it. Do it. Yes. But there's no advice. There's no warnings. It's just, okay, just do it. Like I say, it's like a whole separate entity of itself. Realm. It's a whole dimension that what we're doing is something that it's never been heard of, sort of thing. It was been tried multiple times, but for now, this modern times, which might be creative itself, but we won't talk about that. It exists separately. I have other ideas that, like, I can manifest things that are technically impossible only because I don't know how I'm going to get there. It just happened, and I don't think about it. How does that happen in a world of physical? It doesn't matter. That's kind of what this thing is. This thing is like separate from the physical, separate from the spiritual, independent, and it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
I am just blown away.
Wait, do you know how cool that is, though? If you're getting emails from people saying that,
Mhm.
Lucky saying that,
Mm-hmm.
that also represents then there's nothing else outside influencing this other than us that are creating it.
Yeah. These people don't know
And
each other.
Yeah, and that's amazing. That's completely amazing. And I'm going to rest in the knowing that this is going to be what it is, and it's going to be marvelous, powerful, beautiful. And I think I told you yesterday, Wayne, that I've already spoken to the egregore. Wasn't expecting to, but he came to visit me yesterday, and I was watering my plants and I was singing to them. I just sing to them. Yes. And all of a sudden the egregore, like, the thought popped in, which is odd because I wasn't thinking about it. And I was like, do you want to talk to me? Out of nowhere. And he's like, yeah, just for a moment. I'm like, well, cool, we should meet. And he told me already attached to him is a whole lot of love, a whole lot of prosperity intentions, healing, and generosity, which I was like, generosity. But then I thought of the whole, the all. This is us giving to the all. And he's already got those intentions attached to him, and so much love and light. Nothing is going to penetrate this because we are creating it. And it's just so amazing. Sorry, I'm talking a lot. I'm so excited, guys.
It's important.
Yeah. The only way I've seen images of and been talking for a long time into this is I'm just in the resting of knowing that, thank goodness, because this is the letting go of that fear. That's the key thing of the illusion, that we have to be trapped under the powers that be. Actually not being afraid of what they stole knowledge wise from us, and they do all of the time. And actually many people are doing unconsciously all of the time and getting hijacked. For me, this being thus far comes to me quite blue. I think of blueprint, and all I see is a figure of made up of these synapses that are just like lightning, just built throughout the body, you know. I just think, thank goodness it's time, it's on, you know, yay. And why not? Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Really
Exactly.
are you really going to transition out of this life and wonder, could I have completely transformed and changed something just through my mind? Because for me, I'm like, I'm going to make sure I damn try everything with this mind that I can try while I'm here, because I want to take those tools into the next transition, you know. Or I might decide to come back and be one of the powers that be, build the whole system up, because I bring the knowledge to people, because I've took it with me first. So
Right.
are you going to be on that regretful bed, or are you going to be like in that orgasmic state of, yeah, I'm ready to take these tools to where I'm destined to go now? You know, that's the choice, really. That's the stark choice that you have when you're thinking about or fearing these kinds of things. Are you going to do it, or are you going to not? Are you going to do it without apology? Of that, like Lucky says, like Courtney says, Gaia, and I know Wayne says, even if this egregore certain thought patterns, we think, yeah, we could have maybe implanted something different there. And even that egregore coming back and saying, you've given me a consciousness, and actually that didn't work as well as what this would have done, because it will build that way, like AI is. It's getting its own thought patterns.
That's right.
And so, you know, but are you gonna live life without apology? You know, are you going to make mistakes without apology? You can have those feelings of sorry, of regret transiently, but you know, are you going to actually be unapologetic that you tried, whatever it is that you tried, good or bad? Because if you want to take tools out of it, better be sure for both sides of that coin, you're going to get tools that you can use going forward. And this unlocking of the mind and connectedness of the mind, there's something in it, but doing it in a conscious way without it being directed by those that want to cause harm. I mean, this is the way. This is the way to win wars without a sword, but a sword, a word, a thought. I'm just vibrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the hour's come and gone, of course. So just to review, Courtney and Lucky, are y'all going to be sending this out today, or is it going to be tomorrow?
I have to, Lucky and I spoke, we're going to send it out by sometime this evening tonight, because I got to change some stuff up. Yeah, because I'm all busy tomorrow.
Okay,
so
cool.
It'll go out tonight.
And you have the PDFs. If you don't, let me know. I'll make sure to get them to you.
Yeah. Wayne, this is going to be awesome. And everybody also remember, this is not just the egregore or the place where we'll sit and have a potluck dinner and talk about things. This is also developing your abilities to start communicating telepathically. That is the way of the future. That is the way of humanity. We are at the frontier, babies. Let's rock it out, man.
Let's rock.
This is going to be awesome.
I think it's how we started out. I don't believe we started out with the ability of the spoken voice. I don't. I think that happened at the Tower of Babel. It's my theory that humans communicated telepathically up until that point when the ET came down and actually gave us voice. And when we heard our voice,
talk about that, Wayne. Yeah.
Bet you never heard of that, have you?
The records told me that the Tower of Babel and the Garden of Eden are actually the same story. Both of what versions we have that are not correct.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Isn't it wild? Yeah.
If you think what Elon's trying to do, he's trying to put a voice in the head, because he knows it's time that telepathy is coming back. He knows the cosmic planetary scale is giving us this energy back. We've gone round in this big loop. So what are they doing again? They're trying to hijack it and do what is there for us to do now and absorb again and reuse now. So what do? They want to put a fake thing in. So we have to get good at this. We have to get good at this.
Yeah, we have to.
We are.
And I
We
tell you
are.
exactly, Guy, and many those who are participating in this, you're going to be the leaders down the road. You're going to be the living example because you've experienced it, and experience is what brings confidence. And so, panel, thank you. Much love to you all. I didn't see anyone in the chat room because I didn't look in there. Next week, we will have the ladies back in full force. I thank all of you that are a part of this, and even those who are not. You're still part of this family. You always will be. And there is no weapon formed against us that can prosper. No division, no individual. We are united together on this, and none of us are perfect. And so that gives us all a good roadmap from there. There we go. I like that. Hand in hand. All right. Much love to everyone. See you on Sunday in the astral, and then Monday in the physical. All right. Much love, everyone. Thank you all. Have yourselves a strong end of the week. Party hardy. And I'm looking forward to Sunday. All right. Thanks, everyone.